Scottish band, but it's not bad for the name like Claffey. Although we just found out in the break, I'm speaking with John Claffey from Tour Edge. I said, so where's your family from over there? He says, France. Or Germany, depending on what point in time you want to argue the location. And they changed it in Ellis Island. My wife's family came through because my wife is Swedish. And their name was Johansson.
Right.
And in Ellis Island, they restamped him as Johnson.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I married Donna Johnson. There you go. So what's going on? Tell us about this 13th Tour Edge Multi-Manufacturer Media Day here at the beautiful Lake Nona Golf and Country Club. Why are we here and what's happening?
Yeah, this is the 13th year in a row. Obviously, we've been doing this, and it's just one of those rare instances where manufacturers work together for a common goal, and we come together and we invite what we call the who's who of the golf media. And they come out and they come out and they have breakfast with us, and they sit around for 4 or 5 press conferences from our gold sponsors. So they sit there and listen to a half-hour spiel on all the greatest new equipment that's coming out from people that are sponsoring the event, and then they go out and they go out on the driving range, and they hit on the new product, and they get some swag handed out to them from the sponsors. And then they go out and they do a shotgun Texas Scramble at 1 p.m. out on the Lake Nona golf course. It's the second year in a row we're here.
What do you guys call Texas Scramble? What's that?
You hit a drive and then everybody else finishes.
Okay. We used to call that a shamble where we were.
Right.
We call it a Texas Scramble. Fair enough.
So it's one of those rare instances where we come together and everybody's kind of has a common goal, and that's to get to know the media better and to present their new products. And it's the only place that I've ever been where all of the golf media is in one spot. So it's a great way to kick off PGA Show Week by getting exposure before anybody else, and getting the minds of the media thinking about your product instead of all the clutter that's happening at the PGA
Show. And it's the editorial
show.
exposure that you're seeking. You want these people to go off and say, "Hey, I saw the new XYZ from all these different companies."
That's correct. So we all these guys are here to try to tell their story and get something in print in the next couple of weeks.
All right, you mentioned your gold sponsors at least. Let's tell the world about who these people are and spread a little love.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Super Speed Golf, which is a training aid. They're joining us for the first year. We've got Encore Golf Balls. I'm sure everybody out there has heard of those. We've got Lambkin Grips, which is one of the leading grip manufacturers in golf. We've got Golf 8.5, who you'll be talking to Kay McMahon a little bit later in the show. And that is, she is a world's top 50 instructor. And she has a brand new way of looking at golf and trying to bring new people to the game.
Lovely. That sounds fantastic. All right, so that's just a glimpse of some of the companies that will be here for the assembled media. Let's take a glimpse into Tour Edge itself. So let's, if you wouldn't mind, John, for those that are not initiated, introduce the world to who you are. Tour Edge has been around a long time. Tour Edge was prominent even when I was back in manufacturing a long time ago in equipment manufacturing. So share with us, if you please.
Absolutely. We've been manufacturing golf clubs for 32 years, and it's always been out of the greater Chicagoland area.
Yep.
And so we've been through a lot, but we've become one of the top 10 manufacturers in every category of clubs. And it's just something that's really just starting to take off now to where we survived 2008 and that economic downturn and golf downturn, and now we're starting to thrive. We were up 25% last year over the previous year, and we have plans on doing that again. So we have 3 sub-brands that we really go after, and a lot of people may think they may not have heard of Tour Edge, but they've probably heard of Bazooka, or they've probably heard of Exotic. So we've got these 3 sub-brands, and it's Bazooka, which is kind of your entry-level stuff that we can get beginners and junior sets and lady sets, and they're all pretty much complete sets at this point. Then we've got our Hot Launch brand, which is our mid-tier price point, and that has become kind of our breadwinner. It is basically what we call the best value in custom fitting. So while everybody else is following PXG, with the price up when the custom fitting model, we saw a niche that we could own as the entry level price point.
And what is that?
It's called the Hot Launch 3. That's what we're launching at the show. So we, for example, will have 2 different drivers, an offset model and a straight version that goes for $189.99. But you come in, you spend 15 minutes at one of our fitting centers, and they will get you dialed in to the shaft length of the grip and everything that you need, the different shafts that we offer. And 48 hours later, we have a guarantee that order will show up at the same door that you got fit.
And how does the technology in yours compare to the technologies of those at any other price point, high end, whatever?
Well, David Glod is our president. He's our founder, and he's also our master club designer. Well, he learned a lot because of our high-end exotics line that he's been doing since 2008.
Yeah.
And so basically, he's applied a lot of that technology into the Hot Launch brand, like cup face technology and variable face thickness, and he's got all these tricks that he's learned up his sleeve that he's applying to this $189 driver, to the point where it's performing just like the $499 driver.
That's why I asked you that, because I wondered if all of a sudden people want the new technology. People would love to have a new driver. If they can get a new driver at a price point that you're talking about, under $200, brand spanking new, take off the plastic, take it out of the boxing, and have the same technology they can get elsewhere. Now, let me ask you a question. Let's be honest about this.
Yep.
Why do people fight the idea of a $189 driver versus a $399, $499? What do you have to overcome?
Well, it's just that mindset of, I have enough money for this. I want to play the best, and the best must cost the most. And we're looking at that scenario going, well, we've got ways of making that not true. And if everybody else is going to focus on that sector, we're going to keep our eye on the ball where there's affordability value mixed in with performance and technology.
It opens up a huge market for you, doesn't it?
It does. It does. There's plenty of guys out there that are only playing 20 times a year, and they don't need every year to go spend $400. We have independent tests that show that this driver was longer than the best-selling driver in golf last year at a 95 mile per hour swing speed. We have another test that shows that one of the top ranking tour usage drivers versus this HL3, we had lower spin and lower dispersion. So the results are the results tell the story of what we're trying to do. And
that's from a credibility standpoint.
For
because
sure.
In reality, John, in fairness, you're telling people to get fit. So you're flat out saying to them, come on in. I'm not asking you to take a suit off the rack and put it on and crumple it up because it's too big around the shoulders. You're saying go in and get fitted, go in and get tested. You'll know exactly what the numbers are. So you're not hiding behind shadows.
That's correct. And so our plan is to have about 800 to 1,000 fitting centers that you go into across the country. Our mantra, our advertising campaign is to describe everything that we're doing with Hot Launch is get fit, spend less, play better. And so in 6 words, that's everything that we're doing with this new sub-brand, Hot Launch 3.
Give me that again. Get fit.
Get fit, spend less, play better.
Spend less. I'm writing it down because David's coming on with me later on, and I want to hit him with that.
So on top of that, we have what is called our exotics line, and that is where that's our high-end stuff. That's our tour stuff, and what we advancing to right now. It's the only titanium fairway woods and hybrids on the market. So everybody else has gone away from titanium. It's just it costs too much. It was a lot of money. It's a big investment. The costs of titanium have gone up. We stuck with it because we know the consumers love titanium. So now we have literally the only titanium fairway wood and the only titanium faced hybrid on the market.
Yeah.
And these have very good distance properties. They have very good spin properties. It's very low spin. We call them the spin killers. This is our new CBX line, Exotic CBX. And so we brought it out to the Champions Tour last year, late in the year, just to kind of get some feedback. And we ended up getting a dozen guys in play, and we just had a third place finish at the Champions Tour in Hawaii to open up the season.
Nice.
And we had another guy playing the fairway wood who finished top 20. So that's going to be a big focus for us with exotics is they brought me on to kind of start this tour program where we're going to talk about the tour every week. We're going to have something going on, and most of it's going to be based around the Champions Tour, which is when we took a couple steps back and looked at it, there was a huge void that Adams had left, and Tourage was basically born to fill that void, and so we're going out there and we're going to service the players, and we're going to kind of fill a couple of voids that are out there on the Champions Tour.
You got some good hybrids?
That's exactly what the CBX hybrid is all about. We're out there with more lofts than anybody else at this point, and a very, very awesome hybrid. It's what's leading the way for us out there.
That's something I'd like to see. That's a hole for me too. I just can't find a hybrid that I like. I look at them like, eh.
We were one of the first companies to come up with ironwoods and hybrids back in the day. We were pioneers in that sector, and we just kept getting better and better at it. But this is the lowest spinning hybrid on tour. So guys are really taking to it. It's not a hard gig there on when we're setting up on the range of the Champions Tour and even the PGA Tour. We've already have a CBX Ironwood in play on the PGA Tour that it's Jose de Jesus Rodriguez. He was #1 on the Latin America tour.
Oh, right.
And so he's playing that on the PGA Tour and Web.com. So he just had a top 10 with that the other week with the Ironwoods. So now we've got the hybrids, the Ironwoods, and it's they're finding their way into bags for sure.
Fantastic. Well, we hope that your product finds its way into a lot of people's hearts and minds so that they can give them a fair shake and take a look at them in 2018. Good luck with everything that you guys have going on. Looking forward to speaking with the man in a little while with David to find out more about that. I'm looking for 21 degree.
Perfect.
The hybrid, 21 degree.
Absolutely. We got you covered.
Stiff, and then we'll take it because I need something that can get through the rough. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
866-469-0026. When David comes on later on, we'll entertain your calls as well. Maybe you got some questions of things that work for your game. And this is why we're doing this, folks. These are the type things that we want to expose you to because there is a massive world of golf out there, and you may be surprised to find something that works perfectly for you waiting just around the corner. We'll be back after we go around the corner of these words.